Hi folks, I'm Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. Today I've got the Toyota Tundra CrewMax, and this one, it's the new for 2014 1794 edition, and that basically means this is Cowboy Up, something I'm probably not all that privy to. But basically Toyota came up with this to compete with the Ford King Ranch, the Chevrolet High Country, and the Ram Longhorn. Who comes up with these names? But basically it means this thing's got lots of chrome, bright vivid colors, and an interior that looks like it's right out of a custom tack and saddle shop. It's got a lot going on. This is a truck that's so pretty and nice you could take stars to the Country Music Awards and drop them off at the red carpet. But today I'm taking it out to the desert to get it good and dirty like a good old pickup truck.
For 2014, the Toyota Tundra was redesigned inside and out. The exterior shed its bubbly conservative look for a more chiseled and masculine theme with harder edges and sharper creases. The grille is bold and tall with the popular fist in the wind silhouette, which is all the rage today in truck design. LED driving lamps add a bit of bling while acres of chrome brighten it up. There are now much more muscular fender flares front and rear with squared off edges that really make them pop. Better still, the wheel openings are sized just right so the 20-inch wheels fill them up visually. The 1794 edition gets prominent badging on the fenders and standard running boards as well. A new touch for 2014, the Tundra name is now stamped into the rear tailgate.
A nice design feature for 2014 is the new 3-piece bumper. Toyota says it makes it less expensive to repair if you ever back it into something because you only need to replace one, maybe two of the pieces instead of the whole bumper. Also, they've moved the trailer connector up here into the bumper, which protects it because when it hangs down next to that trailer hitch below the bumper, sometimes those things can get dragged off if you happen to back over terrain. Now, this does have a soft open tailgate. Granted, most trucks have this today, but it is a nice touch. The only area where I'm a little bit disappointed is the fact that this is a 5.5-foot bed, and that's all you can option with the crew cab. Some of the other brands, they offer you up to a 6.5-foot bed when you get their largest cabs. Well, welcome to the interior of the 1794 edition, and as you can see, there is a lot going on here. This place looks like you're sitting in a cowboy western shop with boots and saddles and all sorts of things sitting around. You've got a black and tan color theme, that's the only way this comes, and that of course includes this really vivid wood grain, which I think is pretty well done when it comes to fake wood. Now, these trims that you see on the dash and the door panels, they've got this nice hand-stitched sort of joint in here, and you can tell it's hand stitched because it's not exactly perfect, but it's a nice divider between both the perforated and the standard pattern trims. And these seats here, you've got a perforated leather as well as a suede to go with it, so there's a lot of contrast and a lot of feast for the eyes going on in here. But the good news is the overall quality and fit and finish that goes with this is top notch. And I've sat in some of the other cowboy trucks from the other brands, and while they're just as flashy looking, they're either sometimes a little over the top with big belt buckles on the console, or the quality's just so bad that you just go, yeah, gosh. You're not going to find that here in the Toyota. It's just very well done.
Being a top-level trim grade, the 1794 comes standard with 12-way power driver's seat and 6-way power passenger seat, both with lumbar support. A leather and wood trim steering wheel has full controls for audio and instrument display functions. The cab has a good deal of storage, including a large console bin that can swallow up a laptop and files. There are 3 cup holders in that center console and 2 in each of the 4 doors. And for ventilation on the go, the rear of the cab gets a vertically actuated power roll-down rear window as standard equipment on the 1794 trim grade.
The cockpit of the 2014 Toyota Tundra is a lot better than the 2013 model for a couple of good reasons. First of all, the style and design's got a lot more pizzazz. That's one. But the main thing is functionality. This year, the center stack is back in the center where it belongs. In the 2013 models and before that, it was shifted over here to the right about 3 or 4 inches, and you had to actually lean way over here just to change stations and do things with the stereo. So this is a lot nicer. Now this touchscreen audio system is the top-end JBL system. It has Entune, which is all the smartphone applications and a number of other services, and of course you get navigation. When you put it in reverse, the backup camera comes on, displays right there on the screen, nice and big. Now this system, in my opinion, the sound quality is not as good as you'd think for the top-end stereo. It's got a little bit of a flat spot in the mid-range and just overall sort of has a hollow sound to me. Now, the other thing that's nice about this layout is that the HVAC is separate, not forced into a touchscreen situation like the My Ford Touch and some of Ford's top-end trucks. Even though this is climate controlled, the controls are still simple and easy to use, and the heated and cooled seat controls are right there where they're easy to find. Overall though, from sitting here, it's just a nice looking cockpit. The instrument cluster is easy to read with big gauges and a lot of them. In the center, of course, you've got this screen that you can customize with the controls here as to what's displayed on it. And of course, we're seeing the 14 miles per gallon that we got this week displayed out there on that screen. It's just a nice cockpit, it's comfortable, and of course in the 1794 edition, it's flashy. One of the big benefits to this CrewMax cab is all the space that you get back here. There's just a lot of room to stretch out and get comfortable in. It's one of the largest cabs that you can get in a full-size pickup truck when you have a four-door cab, except for maybe the mega cab from Ram. But it's just nice and comfortable. You've got vents back here, and of course, you have this fold-down armrest with cup holders, so your big gulp has a place to be too.
Those rear seats have a 60-40 split fold. For 2014, the bottoms now fold upward, allowing more vertical space and a lower lift-in height than previous models.
You know, if I owned a dude ranch, this would be the perfect truck to pick up my guests from the airport in. And of course, they would be just totally turned on by this Western theme, and they'd be all ready to go by the time their boots hit the dirt. But you know something, when it comes to leather, I tend to prefer black, and I can get that in the Platinum Edition.
The 2014 Tundra carried over its mechanical and chassis specifications from the 2013 model year, despite a complete redesign of all visual elements. Thus, the Tundra is available with 3 engines, including a 4-liter V6 and a 4.6-liter V8. The range-topping 1794, however, comes standard with the largest available 5.7-liter I-Force V8, with 381 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque. That power goes to the ground through a 6-speed automatic transmission with tow haul mode and an on-demand 4-wheel drive system with dash-mounted control knob.
Nice V8 growl, indeed. One of the nice things about this 5.7-liter engine is it revs very smoothly. Because it does have dual overhead cams and a modern valve train, it offers up that smooth, refined driving experience that you expect from a lot of German and Japanese luxury sedans. Toyota was one of the first to offer dual overhead cam V8 in their pickup trucks, of course later followed by the Nissan Titan and now Ford. But it's just a nice powertrain, and with the 6-speed automatic transmission, it just shifts well, and it's a pleasant thing to have underfoot.
The 2014 Tundra is rated by the EPA at 13 miles per gallon city, 17 miles per gallon highway, and 15 miles per gallon combined. As stated before, we achieved 14 miles per gallon average in our time with the Tundra. Suspension is also largely carried over from 2013 models, but a number of running refinements were made to the shock valving and steering to reduce ride harshness on and off-road.
I'm up here in the mountains on the way out to the desert trail, and we're on a windy mountain road, and I'm finding that the Tundra actually handles very good up here. The steering is a little bit lighter than I'd like, but the chassis is very solid. It's very refined. I'm not getting any of the live axle skitteriness that you typically expect in a pickup truck, and it just feels well planted.
The highway ride was fine and smooth enough, but it was time to let the Tundra loose on the rough, gritty back roads to see if it can take the abuse of the path less traveled and still walk the talk when its shoes get dirty.
The washboard road out here is always a great place to test a pickup truck to see how well this chassis is tuned and how stiff the frame really is. So far it's doing pretty well. The overall isolation of the suspension is pretty good, even though it's still delivering a pretty stiff ride. You know you're in a pickup truck. But the good news is the body mounts and the interior quality, it's holding pretty solid even though this road is pretty rough.
Going through washes and flying over deep ruts, the Tundra indeed impressed with its solid feel and toughness. At moderate speeds, the stability control did a good job of keeping the tail tucked in on those looser surfaces too.
Well, this cowboy was very much at home this week behind the wheel of the 2014 Toyota Tundra 1794 edition. It's all dressed up and ready for the show, but it's still a pickup truck underneath, and it proved that it's ready to go to work on Monday. So this week we give it 4 out of 5 stars. I'm Sam Haymart for Test Driven TV. I hope you enjoyed the ride.
If you'd like a more detailed review and photo galleries, log on to activityvehicle.com.